Hello everyone. Hi
Okay.
Zaid. Welcome
Hi
back.
all. Hi. Nice to be here again.
You look different today.
Do not talk about this on this video.
We'll cut that part out.
I just hope nobody notices.
Yeah, actually, this is a very subtle thing which you have done, so no one
Only those who have been watching our previous videos would notice. So that's another reason to go and watch.
will need to comment on the video on this video. So you need to comment the changes that Zaid has done.
I should be embarrassed, right? Or not?
No, it's
I
a
don't
fun
know.
exercise. It's a fun exercise.
Good to start with the fun
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah. So Zaid, tell me which laptop do you have right now?
So I currently own a custom MacBook Air M2, the older 13-inch
Mm-hmm.
one. So I spec'd it up to 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of SSD storage.
Okay.
And I have the midnight color,
The Midnight the
the one which was newly launched. The yes, the which all conspiracy everything was targeted towards this midnight color. That midnight color I own and use daily.
Okay. Okay. So I have this one, this MacBook Air.
I'm also showing it on the screen like this, and I can show Akash. You
Okay.
can see Akash there.
So this will be our thumbnail showing off our
Mm.
laptops.
Yep. And I have also sent you some cool thumbnails which I did with my midnight color.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We can use that in B-rolls. My M2 MacBook Air is the basic, most basic of the basic ones because it is the base model, and I got it from my friend from US. So when he was traveling to India from US, he got it for me, and the right now the MacBook Air costs around 1,10,000 or 15,000, but it costed me only 79,000. So I saved up on a lot of money.
The
It
power of tech.
Yeah, the power of getting things from your NRI friend. Yeah, so it costed actually I got a very good deal on this laptop because uh, it was $1,200, right? 1199 in the US, but I got it on discount. I got it at $900.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so that's a
So
very
I
good
was
thing.
not so lucky.
Hmm.
I took it nearly when it was launched. So the basic variant was around 130 or
Okay.
something. So I wanted to spec up for various reasons, which I'll talk
Hmm.
about in this video
Hmm.
further. I had to spec up, so it went to 1.6 lakhs.
1.6. Okay, that's a huge
But it,
amount.
yeah, that considering that I'm going to use this for several years, at least 4 to 5 years, because I don't usually upgrade my
Yeah.
laptops. Like I upgrade.
Yeah, and Macs are actually reliable that way, right? Because
Exactly.
I used to have my previous MacBook Pro, which I was using. That was a mid 2012 13-inch MacBook Pro non-Retina version. Okay, and I bought that laptop in 2015. That laptop lasted at least for 8 years for me. Still, its lifespan. It can still work. We can still watch videos. We can still consume media in that laptop. It is just that laptop has gotten a bit slow, but I had upgraded its SSD and the RAM. I boosted it to 16 GB, and it still works. That laptop, if we want to use it to consume media, it still works. But yeah, but the lifespan that I'm talking about for a Mac is at least 10 years. Yeah, I agree that it will stop getting the OS upgrades and everything, but we can still use it.
Wow, that's the power of
Yeah.
Macs. Compared to Windows laptop, a Windows laptop will, you know, start getting boring and useless, like at least in 3 to 4 years, and in 5 to 6 years, it will be completely useless. Like it will start crashing, and OS updates will not work
Yeah, yeah,
altogether,
yeah.
thing like that. So in that concern, Macs are
Yeah,
great.
and also the build quality. We
Build
can't
quality,
mention
agree.
we can't skip mentioning build quality when it comes to Macs.
So tell me how your Starlight color has held up.
Yeah, I forgot to mention my color is Starlight. So it is like a light golden color basically. And it has been holding out really good actually. There are no fingerprints. There are only just sweat marks which we usually get, but just that. Other than that, there are no fingerprints as such, and the display also has been quite good. A display actually, that the upgrade that I got from my 2012 MacBook Pro to this one, that was actually a huge jump in display quality, and and rest everything is almost the same, just the new keypad and the new touchpad, the bigger touchpad. But the display quality, the my previous laptop's display was 720p, but this is almost a 2K display. So that has been very good.
because my midnight color, which I'm using, actually had a lot of bad publicity at that
Yeah,
time with
yeah,
a lot of fingerprints. Many people were noticing scuffs and scratches even in the first week of
yeah,
usage.
yeah. While
So
connecting the USB ports and
regarding
all.
right, yeah. So regarding that, I think mine has held up really well. Yeah, I do see some scuffs on the USB port, where
Hmm.
we plug in the USB Type C cables. There I do see some scuffs, but apart from that, I don't see any major damage. And I mean, honestly, my kids like crush this thing a lot. They ram it, they throw it here and there, they bang on the keyboard. But talking about durability, which you were just doing
Yeah.
now, I think it's really commendable, the durability of MacBooks, because even after so much damage, so much you can say
Harsh usage,
rough
the rough
usage,
usage. Yeah,
harsh
yeah.
usage, rough usage, it is still, I mean, intact in one piece, and it really works well. I mean, I don't see any scuffs or scratches like that if you talk about it.
Yeah.
And also regarding the fingerprints, yeah, there are fingerprints obviously on this midnight color, but I am that person. I mean, I don't really notice them.
Hmm.
Because when we usually work on the laptop, we open the
Yeah,
lid
yeah,
and we look at the display and the keyboard, not the back of the display, which actually
yeah,
has a lot of
yeah.
fingerprints. So it does not bother me that much. So I think that all that was just a big hoax, like midnight color and all those things. I think it's a really good color because from most of the angle it looks black. So it
Hmm.
reminds me of the old, jet black days when Apple used to release jet black
They,
iPhones and MacBooks as
yeah,
well.
they the jet black MacBooks. We got a glimpse of it in the movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Abhay Deol's character uses that plastic MacBook. Okay, that was the one black MacBook which Apple used to have in the previous years.
Right.
Yeah, and now my Starlight color, it feels fresh for me. And actually, in fact, I was considering getting a midnight color, but when my friend was purchasing that laptop, midnight was out of stock, so I went for Starlight instead. But it is a fresh color for me, and I am actually using I'm actually enjoying using this laptop very much. And now that we have got about better colors, the better design, and the previous MacBook Air design, the clamshell design, that is also gone. So we are getting better battery life. So what has been your experience regarding the battery life of these laptops?
The battery life of this laptop, I mean, I think it's been around 2 years, I think
Hmm.
so, almost 2 years now. And it's, I mean, still holding up really great. Like, I hardly charge it in 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
So, if you use it continuously for video editing and stuff, yeah, it takes about like 30% of the battery or so if I'm using it, editing a video for about an hour or
Yeah.
so. And if I'm gaming, yeah, yeah, I do game on the MacBook.
Okay.
And if you're gaming, it takes up battery really well, really fast. But still, it's not like bad at all. So it has held up really well, and it really lasts. Like I don't need to really charge it,
Okay.
and especially this MagSafe charger that it comes with, I think it's really comfortable to carry and also hold and plug it
Yeah,
in.
and the
So I'm glad that they brought.
magnets are also pretty strong.
Yeah, exactly, and I think I'm glad that they brought back this MagSafe thing here.
Yeah,
If it's accidentally pulled away, then it's the laptop your laptop is safer in that regard.
correct, correct.
So that's a good thing, and it also charges really well. I mean, I don't think it has any fast charging or anything like
Hmm.
that, but it charges really well.
And also it
So
free
that's
ups
a
the
good thing.
USB port, USB-C port.
Exactly. Yeah, you only have two USB ports now.
Yeah.
So
And in the previous generation, the previous MacBook Air, the M1 MacBook Air, it used to have just two USB ports, no MagSafe. So while charging, and if you want to connect a dock, then at that time you used to have only two USB ports, and only one among them was usable, right? So By getting MagSafe into the equation, they have just freed up one of the those two busy ports, and that is actually beneficial for us, the users.
Yeah, actually. And I think the design, the new design which Apple did is also, I'm really digging this design
Hmm.
now. Because it is so sleek and like boxier and also really thin and sleek.
Yeah,
So that is the very reason that I don't really need to, buy an iPad or anything, because it actually acts like an iPad. So if when you fold it close, it just feels like you're holding an iPad. It's not that heavy and it's really light in weight as well. So it's really portable as well.
yeah, yeah.
So I think they've done a great job with the design and also with the notch.
The infamous,
A lot of
the
people
infamous notch.
infamous notch. A lot of people said that this is something, really jarring, and some people were not that used to
Hmm.
it. But from the very first day, actually, I did not notice it that much. And to be honest, I think it's a good use of the space that they have done here,
Yeah,
because the menu bar actually digs in behind that notch.
yeah, yeah.
So you get good screen real estate when it comes to for that matter, because in a squared design or rectangle design, the menu bar takes up the entire,
The upper
the
part of the,
top
yeah,
portion of
yeah,
it, upper portion of it. And now they fix the notch and the camera inside it. So I think it's good in terms of design.
yeah.
Yeah, at the starting, it for some people it may look a bit strange and awkward,
Hmm.
but it looks good actually. It looks premium, so it works.
And if you're consuming media, or if you're doing editing or doing any sort of stuff, if you go into the full screen mode, that notch actually disappears for you. So it
Hmm.
shouldn't bother many users. Just if you're looking, if you're just staring at the home screen for a while, at that time only you will be able to notice the notch. Otherwise, you won't notice it ever if you're using the applications in the full screen mode, right?
The only thing that bothers me though is you can't bend it more. I really wish we could get it to like 180 degrees,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
slid. So I really wish that.
And this is the only thing that I'm fearful about. I'm afraid of that, while just while just trying to open that laptop, I might crack it, or I might damage it.
Right. And what do you think about the performance? Because you have the 256 gigs version. I mean, 256 gig version is known to have slower SSD speeds, and also the RAM that they have, 8 gigs
Yeah,
of RAM
yeah.
in the base variant. I mean, if you are a person like me who edits videos and stuff, 8 gigs is not always enough. Like most of the times it might be enough, but not always enough. So what do you think about the performance on your base variant
The
MacBook?
performance has been, for me at least, it has been very good. I actually haven't noticed any slowness or any performance lag, so to say, because if at all, it has an 8 GB RAM and 256 GB of storage, but it still feels fast. See, that might be because I haven't used the 512 version and the 16 gigs of RAM version. But yeah, but it still feels fast. It still feels snappy, and it still feels very, to the point. Whatever we want to do, it responds, and it responds well, and it gets your work done. What we need to do is we need to make a comparison video between the two.
Right, we need to compare like rendering
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
gaming
yeah,
performance, frame rates, and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. This
So
is what
actually,
we
the
need.
only reason why I spec'd my laptop up was because I needed to try out a couple of things,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to video editing and also gaming on
Okay,
MacBooks, especially in the Apple Silicon
okay.
world. So I wanted to try gaming and all that. And for some of the games, you need to have that VMs running on
Yeah,
your this Windows VM running on your
yeah,
machine.
yeah.
And for that, it takes up half
Correct.
the virtual
Yeah,
memory.
half
So
the
if you
RAM
have
and
8
half the
gigs of RAM,
storage, it will take away.
yeah. Correct. So if you have 8 gigs of RAM, it will take up 4
Yeah,
only.
yeah,
So if you're playing a game or something in that VM, it will only have 4 gigs of RAM, which is not enough for today's
hmm,
standard of games.
yeah,
So that is why I had to spec up to 16 gigs of RAM plus the storage. When I'm editing my YouTube
hmm.
videos, it usually goes up to about 40 to 50 gigs for one video,
Okay.
because I record in 4K 30 FPS, and usually videos are like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, the A
Yeah.
roll, plus there are more B rolls. So it totally constitutes to about 40 to 50 gigs in one
Okay.
video. And I don't have the habit of using an external
Yeah.
SSD. So that is why I just wanted some internal storage, especially if I am storing some games or anything.
Hmm.
Like I used to play Arkham City and all those games on a
Batman
MacBook.
series.
Plus I was Batman series, and also I tried the Tomb Raider game.
Hmm.
So all those games take up like 100, 200 gigs on the laptop itself.
Okay. Yeah. Then.
So that is why I prefer to speccing up the storage version, so I have more internal
Yeah.
storage, because at least I prefer internal storage more than external. If you, I mean, all these things you can still get it done by using an external
Yeah.
SSD,
Yeah.
but still that SSD is like once you lose the connection, you might lose
Correct.
everything. So it's, and also it's faster to have everything on your internal SSD. So that's why I prefer to spec it up.
As compared to connecting an external SSD, if you have that inbuilt memory in your laptop, it will anyway run faster and it will be more reliable. But actually, what I thought was I still use external SSD for editing and stuff. I put all my videos in that external SSD and I export to the same. Okay, I export all my videos once rendered and everything is done to the external SSD. So I don't keep anything basically on my laptop. Okay, I if even if I check just now, only 50 GBs is used among the 256 GB. I actually prefer keeping everything on the external SSD because SSDs are also, reliable. So I prefer doing that.
So have you tried any games, Apple
No,
Silicon
no,
games
no.
on your MacBook?
As of now, I haven't tried anything. But yeah, I would like to give it a shot.
Yeah, I've tried some Apple Silicon games on this, especially some that have been translated from Windows. That is something that they do. I don't remember the exact
Hmm.
word. They transpose from the Windows, the game system that they have, to a Apple Silicon
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, so I've tried on those platforms as well, and the games run really well. Just the thing is that as this laptop does not have a fan, it heats up a lot. Just after like 10 to 15 minutes of
Hmm.
playing, it will heat up a lot, and you will especially feel the bottom of the laptop really
Hmm.
warm.
Hmm, hmm.
So in order to get rid of that, I also got an external
Fan.
fan stand that you
Okay,
get,
okay.
right? Yeah, I also tried that, but that did not really work out because still everything is so heavy on this
Hmm.
laptop that those fans will also not help. So that is something with this laptop because it does not have fans. So if you are doing a consistently heavy thing, that heavy performance loads, then it might not be able to sustain that because it does not have fans.
Uh,
So that is something with
Okay,
this MacBook
so
Air.
the most intensive task that I've thrown at my laptop is while editing these videos. Okay, so and while editing and while exporting also, if I'm recording in 1080p and 30 fps or 50 fps, then that video file will be at of around 20 GB or 25 GB. Okay, and once I've exported it, that 40-minute podcast while exporting, it will hardly take around 20 minutes or so. Okay, while exporting it using DaVinci Resolve, this software, video editing software. So it will hardly take around 20-25 minutes while exporting this or while rendering this.
Yeah, actually, I mean, MacBooks are really great at video
Yeah.
editing because no matter which video editing software you use, I also tried a couple of them. For like Final Cut, DaVinci,
Hmm.
and LumaFusion is one something basic which all Mac users might be
Yeah.
using.
Yeah.
That all I've tried, and it never heated up while rendering, while doing any sort of editing on this laptop. So I think that is something that they manage really well when it comes to iOS, Mac OS basically, that it does not heat up while doing video editing. So the only place where I heated this, where I noticed this heating up was while
Gaming.
gaming,
Okay.
because because especially those games were not optimized for a Mac,
Hmm.
to be
Hmm.
honest. So that is why that heating was obvious. So the obviously fans would have helped, but still that was something which was really heavy for this
Yeah.
laptop.
Because.
But apart from that,
Hmm.
sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead. Pehla,
Yeah,
pehla.
apart from that, but apart from that, I was just saying that I did not notice any heating up. So because whenever I edited our videos, right, whenever I edited my own YouTube videos also,
Hmm.
I was really glad with the decision of buying this laptop and not going for the pro version, because I really don't feel, especially for editing, especially for our videos where we don't have like special effects or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
We just have a couple of 4K layers, and in those, I mean, it's not a complex video editing, I would say. So for those people, I think it's the best laptop to buy.
Yeah, seriously, because this M2 chip has these media drivers, has this media engine which actually helps it, perform better while rendering the videos and and while exporting the videos and everything. It helps and it doesn't allow the laptop to heat up that much. and it is actually beneficial for the user and anyone who strive to make videos, edit videos on this laptop. It actually helps them. It actually encourages in a way, encourages the people in a way to more do more and edit more videos, render more videos on this. Yeah.
what, what else do we talk about
Yeah.
this?
Okay, so this was our experience with the M2 MacBook Airs. We both have 13 inches version. So, if at this point, if now, if I tell you, if or someone asks us that they want to buy a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro, let's compare MacBook Air for this time. If that person wants to buy a MacBook Air, okay, so which one would we suggest? M1 MacBook Air, M2 MacBook Air, and or M3 MacBook Air, and which screen size also, 13-inch version or a 15-inch?
See, I think it boils down to what your use case is.
Hmm.
But firstly, to start with, I would never recommend that M1 MacBook Air because it's a very old design that it
Yeah.
had. And whatever price you pay for it, I don't think it's worth it. So you should definitely, like, if you're buying it today, you should not buy an M1 MacBook Air. Uh,
Hmm.
when it comes to M2, so if your use case is like just multimedia consumption or video editing, like light video editing, not heavy usage as such,
Hmm.
and also if you do heavy usage but not consistently, like not regularly, if you're sometimes doing some gaming or sometimes you're editing a heavy video, then I think the M2 MacBook Air is also sufficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big screen size, that is an obvious thing because if you use your laptop a lot, then definitely I would suggest go for the 15-inch one because it gives you more screen real estate
Hmm.
and it goes easy on your eyes also if you're consuming media for long periods of time. So it's a better option to
And the
have.
battery life will
But if
also
you
be better.
travel a lot, exactly, the battery life will also be
Yeah.
better. And because if you're traveling a lot, then that battery life would last you even further.
Yeah.
But talking about traveling, if you like to carry light, then the 13-inch MacBook Air is actually lighter in weight
Yeah.
also. And the screen, the 13-inch size is not bad. It's really usable and workable as well, and you get used to it. So
Feels,
it's
and
not
it
bad as
feels enough.
such.
This 13.6 inches of screen real estate, it actually feels enough for us, right?
Exactly, yeah. It is just that M2 when it comes to, I mean, as far as I've seen, when it comes to M2, the M2 chip, it is known for its heating issues. Like not for many people, like at least you and I have had positive experience with it. But many people have reported that the M2 chip really heats up if you are throwing like heavy loads at it.
Yeah.
So it was not consistent in its performance. It used to bring down the performance to not heat
Yeah.
up. So if you are like heavy, I mean, if you want to try out new softwares, and if you are like using this, and if you're a student, and if you have like several softwares to run on your laptop, then I would suggest go with the M3 one because that will give you a better heat management performance as
Yeah.
well. Like, of course, it does not have fans, but it will have a little better performance than the M2
Yeah.
one. Because if you're running like various softwares for your college or for your education, then it is better to have better performance on it because all those softwares might just crash on the older versions of MacBook.
Yes, and given that M3 will always be a better chipset than M2, and there is one major difference that M3 has over M2 is it also has ray tracing now. But in my opinion, if you are on a budget, if you want to buy a laptop which is lower than 1 lakh rupees or 90,000 rupees, so as of now, the base model M2 MacBook Air is on Amazon at 88,000 rupees. So this might be a value for money quotient for you because see this laptop before M3 launch, this laptop used to cost around 1 lakh 20,000 rupees, right? And now it costs around 1 lakh rupees because of the M3. If the M3 is in place, and you won't get M1 now on Amazon. I'm trying to search for it, but M1 is not showing up on Amazon as of now.
Yeah, you might get it in offline stores
Yeah.
at a better discounted rate, but that's what I was saying. Like even if it's at a discounted rate, I would suggest that because it's
Hmm.
it's not in the Apple lineup anymore. So M2 is still better any day. And for most people, I think the M2 MacBook Air, be it the 13 or the 15
Yeah,
inch,
yeah.
is the most suitable laptop
Yeah,
for all.
this screen size, which screen size to get is their lookout. Is it depends on their usage and use cases. But yeah, the most value for money laptop which you can get with a better performance, with a better design, and with a better build quality than almost any other laptop in the world right now, that will be under 90,000 rupees for us, will be M2 MacBook Air for us, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it has the new design. The previous M1 MacBook Air had the older design. It had that clamshell design. Now it is
Mm.
on par with the MacBook Air. Sorry, the MacBook Pros 14 and the 16-inch MacBook Pros. And if someone sees this laptop from far afar, then they will also get confused. Which laptop is this? Is it a Pro or an Air? Right.
Right.
So these are the things that makes difference, and these are the things which will help us or any of the users who wants to buy. Okay, while deciding if they want to get a M1 or M2 or an M3 MacBook Air.
That's the best thing about Apple products, be it any product. Like 1 year later, they're at a discounted
Yeah,
rate and suitable for most of the
yeah,
consumers.
yeah.
Like you can easily buy those, like even iPhones or even Apple Watches. 1 year later, also you get at a discounted rate, but the performance and everything
Hmm.
is on par.
Yeah, and I agree that M2 MacBook Air came 2 years ago in 2022. M2, this M2 chipset and the M2 MacBook Air came in 2022. But I think it will be supported at least till we get M8 or M9 chip. At least for 6 to 7 more years, it will get support, software support and everything, security support, each and everything it will get. And so because this device is 2 years old device now, you don't have to think that it will the Apple will stop supporting it, and Apple will stop giving it the software upgrade and the OS upgrades and everything. It will still have the OS upgrades, it will still have the software support and each and everything for at least 6 to 7 more years, right? So
Right.
so
Yeah.
this is a steal deal as for now, that M2 MacBook Air 13 inches, it is a steal deal for now.
Right. And maybe in a future video, we can talk about what our dream MacBook would be,
Yeah, yeah,
because still it does not have
yeah,
everything, just like how iPhones don't have
yeah,
everything. So we can talk about it in some other
yeah, yeah,
video.
sure, sure, man, sure.
It was great again talking to you,
It,
Akash.
it, it is
Yeah.
always my pleasure to have you on this podcast and co-hosting with you and giving our thoughts, sharing our thoughts with the world. It is always pleasure for me
Thank you. Please subscribe to this channel and also like this video if you like our content.
because we are putting good amount of effort on this. Zaid has
Thank
Zaid
you.
has cut his beard for this video, so at least a thumbs up for that.
At least a donation would also be appreciated for this.
Yeah, yeah.
Buy merch.
So,
No beard MacBook.
thank you.
Chalo. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.